Here you are, you've completed 12 rounds of link up, you've paid $45,000 to buy your brand new DeLorean, and now you need a couple of builds for it, and that's where this video comes in. Let's go!
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious
Real quick before I get into the builds, if you're looking for any of my builds, you can go to militiagamingco.com, go to the builds page, and then select the game you are looking for builds for, and everything is listed on spreadsheets. Also, if you find any information on that spreadsheets that look wrong or incorrect, don't hesitate to send me a DM. I read every single one of them. All right, let's get into these builds. I've got 3 builds for you today. A drift build specifically designed and tested for the new drift playlists as of the Volume 3 update, a race build for general racing and money grinding, and then a link up build for dirty, bumpy fun. Let's get into the drift build first. This build feels pretty good and scores really well. Other builds are a tiny bit better for sliding. This thing does grip up sometimes when you don't want it to, but overall it's a super solid drift build. Entry isn't too bad either if you have the right speed and the time, because it does turn into the drift a little bit slowly. It takes a little time to initiate. If you're in a pinch, meaning the corner is too close to you to drift with just using your gas, I recommend popping whatever yellow NOS you have to get some speed right before the corner. Then use your handbrake to enter the drift, and then use your blue NOS to carry you through the corner. Now, the reason you're using your NOS mid-corner is because when you handbrake to entry, unless you are going way too fast, your handbrake actually slows you down entering the corner, and you don't have enough speed to actually make the turn, and so that blue NOS carries you through. So let's go over that one more time. So pop your yellow right before the corner, handbrake to enter the drift, and then use your blue NOS mid-turn to actually carry you through the corner. It's a technique that you're going to need to learn to use if you want to score high on these drift events. You don't always need to use it, but when you do need to use it, it's crucial in maintaining a very nice drift angle and speed into your corners. Now, transitioning with this car is actually pretty easy so long as you stay on the throttle. If you attempt to transition off the throttle, the car will swing quickly, which is fine if that's what you're trying to do, because the corners are super close to each other. But when you're not expecting it and you let off the throttle and it swings quick, you might over rotate and lose all of your speed for that section, which definitely hurts your scores. So just keep in mind, if you want to transition smoothly and fast, keep your hand on the throttle, and then if you want to swing your car quickly, let off the throttle. As soon as the car starts to swing, jump back on the throttle and it'll swing the car. All right, moving on to the race build. So far, all I've tested this car for is A tier. Now, I do have some other testing that I want to do, but I feel like it's strongest in A tier. It's a very, very good build. It's actually the fastest car that I've tested in the class up until now, and it is a must buy. I was able to run a 1:45.30 on the drain and a 1:20.86 on Windy City Sprint. Now, each of those times individually is not necessarily the fastest time for those races, but it's definitely combined the best overall results, which means this is one of the most well-rounded cars in the A tier, so I highly recommend it. Those times combined put this car at the very top of my A tier leaderboard so far. Obviously, there is a long way to go in order to establish the real fastest cars in the game, but so far, this is it. All right, and lastly, let's talk about the link up build. Link up builds are mostly your preference, so keep that in mind. You are basically building the car to suit your own driving needs and skills. So keep in mind that this build is actually built for me, and you may need to make small adjustments to either the handling tuning or the tires or the suspension. Those are the 3 things that will most greatly affect how the car feels during the event. I recommend going with NOS drift and damage increase if you prefer to do the drift challenges more, or NOS jump and damage increase if you prefer to do the jump challenges more. The damage increase is non-negotiable though, as the cops seem to be one of the bigger headaches in these events. As far as the build is concerned, I dumped as much power into it as possible, which helps with the drifting and the jumping and the speed traps, which puts it into S+, and this car is a little bit squirrely for S+, so it's going to take you a little bit of time to learn how the car handles while you're escaping, but once you have it down, it's very easy to get away. And that's pretty much it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed these 3 builds. If you have any questions, you can send me a DM. I read every single one of them. Shout out to all the Heat 5 members of the channel. We'll catch you on the next one. Trigger out.